we got into a mobile home park in Cottonwood, Arizona. It was the third community we purchased. And it's to this day probably one of the highest performing on a return standpoint that we've done. And it's the nature of my current pitch and target for what we're now after to buy. And my favorite attributes of it was that it was a keep it simple deal. It was a newer deal. It was built in 98 to 2001 and probably 92% occupied. We bought it for, I think it was like a 7 cap rate. And it was a newer product. The homes were there. There's no hair on this deal other than it's in Cottonwood, and Cottonwood's out there 2.5 hours from Phoenix. But it was newer so that you don't worry about the sewer, water lines, the electric. Everything's there. There was a few pieces of the grading and touch-up stuff. We had to set maybe 5 to 7 homes, and it was fun and one of my favorites because it was up on a bluff, and from the homes that sat up in the on the hill as the grade of the park went up, you had homes that had patios and decks, and they overlooked Sedona, and you could see it.